All right. Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers, sovereign thinkers. This is LO3's newest podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful, swampy mangroves of South Florida. And today's date, Friday, May 12th, 2017. Yes, looks like I had a signal glitch on my Spreaker application, but as is how it goes. So what happened is I did arrange it. I did review it and arrange it. I put that part of that episode on as we speak. So it's out there on the whole thing on the request of information by Congress in reference to the firing of Comey. And like I tell you this because Comey is not more than a corrupt piece of garbage as well. All right, that's how I see him. And when he got fired, I didn't go lovey-dovey. Oh, Trump's such a great man. He's just another, like I say, just another bellboy, another butt boy to the New World Order. So, and I'm going to continue on here. Just to let you know, I am at CJ's Java Lounge, located at 400 Southwest 1st Avenue, along the new rivers of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Right off the Andrews Avenue Bridge, southwest corner. You can't miss it. There's a Brownie's Riverfront Pub right across from me. You can take the ferry here if you want. Water taxi, doesn't matter. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy the water. Of course, the Venice of America, right? If you're in Fort Lauderdale, enjoy the water taxis and all that. Part of Fort Lauderdale. Not in the corporate basis, to be exact. Okay, so just to get that out of the way, we'll just continue on here. And I'm like, oh, my goodness, where it is. All right. And actually, I want to add these other stories as well. It'll be like 3 topics here. So, let's just check this out. This came out yesterday from Another Day in the Empire by Kurt Nemo. He's being Infowars, by the way, and the man has a great amount of merit. Have a chance. Check out his videos and all that. Geopolitical report and so forth. Yo, you'd be surprised. This guy is not some Joe Blow off the street. He's not some of these Dinkleberries you see on lamestream media, and even some of the alternative media, too, at times. They try to, tell you something, just focus on them, not the information. So, it says right here, new FBI boss, Trump looks at surveillance state advocate Mike Rogers. Hallelujah, all right? Let's just continue on here. President Trump is considering former chairman of House Intelligence Committee to replace James Comey, according to Bloomberg. The Bloomberg report right there. And you can check it out. Rogers is a seasoned swamp veteran and an ardent supporter of the surveillance state. In 2013, he voiced his support for the NSA surveillance program. You can't have your privacy violated if you don't know your privacy is violated. That's what he said. Yeah, and according to his one source, he said it. Yeah, he made that he made that bold statement. All right, so check this out. In 2006, as a Congress critter, he voted to allow electronic surveillance without a warrant, a direction of the direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. And that came out. You get that link from Tech Dirt too. So some good stuff here. Let's bring it back. Let's go. Beep beep. Oh, there it is. Good. To stop here, and of course, here in 2006, as a Congress critter, he voted to allow electronic surveillance without a warrant, a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. He voted to let the government gather intelligence without congressional oversight, as voted to extend the Patriot Act. So Mike Rogers he stands up and does a fascist salute and say, God bless the Patriot Act. It's done for our own good. Absolutely. Just to give you an example, even the past President Barack Obama, as a U.S. Senator, voted for the same thing as reauthorization. So they're like, hey, they're bend over bobs and proud. Precisely. And we'll continue on here. Rogers voted for $78 billion in emergency funds to keep the pointless wars going in Iraq and Afghanistan. And also vote against bringing the troops home. Yes, he has a heart up for imperialist fetishes. He voted yes to declare the Iraq occupation part of the endless war on terror. In 2015, he called for more intelligence officers and more paramilitary forces to fight the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. He wants greater autonomy for the CIA and special operation forces in Syria and a robust expansion to intelligence services, according to Newsmax. All right. Rogers is a distinguished fellow at the Hudson Institute, a neocon think tank run in part by the Bush neocon Louis Scooter Libby. Did that ring a bell, my friends? Conrad Black and Richard Pearl are board trustees, and the godfather of the neocons, Norman Poldhoritz, is on staff. Hudson takes money from government and large traditional corporations, including General Electric, Monsanto, Microsoft, IBM, and ExxonMobil. Can we say, is this man fantastic or what? Yes, we could all sing God Bless the New World Order to Mike Rogers. Kiss before he walks on. I recommend this to you, President Donald Trump. Stand down on this parasite if you're the real deal. A lot of us are realizing that you have been compromised. And I do recall some of the cabinet members he had, like before you during campaign, are members of the CFR and all that as well. So you're going to bring another stooge in there, go, hey, I got rid of Comey, but we're going to sit there and go, Trump's our man? Come on. I bet you and Hillary Clinton are probably bed buddies for all I know. I have no clue. But I can tell you this is very unacceptable. Plain and simple. Stand down on this bastard, okay? This guy is inappropriate, unacceptable, very anti-freedom. And you can look at that right there on Mike Rogers. Obama weakens intel as terror threats multiply. So he does support all that. All right, just give you guys a heads up. Another blasphemous stooge Rogers is. Hey, my friends, that's how you gotta look at it. The more things change, the more it stays the same. Vigilance is always a key, correct? Absolutely. So, on the contrary to this, he needs to stick it as far as I'm concerned. So, I would not recommend this. Let everyone know. Stand down, President Trump. No on Rogers. Plain and simple. I'm about to post this on Twitter as well. Yeah, why not? I'm going to post this on Twitter and let him see it for himself. I'm doing it right now, my friends. Just there. And that's what I'm going to do as well. Hold on here. Hashtag stand down, Mr. Trump. You want to use Twitter? Hey, we can use the same thing. Counter it. Well, my brothers and sisters, that's how it goes. So, hey, that's why idolatry, political idolatry, is very treacherous. All right, so next one here. I was going to try to put this in my last episode, on the episode today, but about the whole Comey thing. Here are 5 stories everyone is ignoring while media implodes over Trump firing Comey. Yes, of course. That's usually the key. It's from anti-media. And came out today by Carrie Welder. It says a power-hungry president has kicked a power play out of office. And the mainstream media is having a field day. Of course. See, they're still talking about it right now. You guys don't have a life. I'm just watching it. More of a hard up for the firing of Comey. How far, how long can they climax? Headlines have obsessively focused on Trump's termination of FBI Director James Comey and the implications that come with drawing comparisons to Richard Nixon's Watergate scandal and questioning Trump's decision to fire the man who was leading an investigation into the president's own alleged misconduct. While the drama currently unfolding will certainly have profound implications for the president and the future, the theatrics playing out on the telescreens around the country are hardly representative of the bigger picture in the United States. As millions of Americans fix their eyes and minds on the ongoing developments, other stories are lurking behind the curtain and reveal far more about the struggles we face. Though that they have received some coverage from corporate and establishment outlets, these stories are being forced out of the conversation by round-the-clock coverage of political figureheads warring in Washington. Here are the 5 to follow. 1. The Pentagon is seeking a troop increase in Afghanistan after 16 years of repeating that mistake. The last time any media put together a list of stories falling by the wayside amid a media-feeding frenzy that time, it was Trump's decision to bomb Syria and increase troops of Afghanistan made the cut. Unfortunately, it is a recurring development as various mainstream outlets reported. With little traction, the Trump administration is considering sending as many as 5,000 more troops to Afghanistan. Through options are still being considered. And even Trump and the likes of Condoleezza Rice have pushed for a different strategy. The potential increase amount to business as usual for an empire mirrored to an endless war, with the country still plagued by the very same terrorists. The United States vowed to eradicate 16 years ago when the invasion first commenced. There are actually currently over 8,000 troops in Afghanistan, making a spike of several thousand troops significant, and the sight of military-industrial establishments continued hold over American foreign policy. Yes, so everyone's worried about the whole thing on Trump. These are one of the things we should be focusing on. More imperialism, right? Absolutely. That's what he did. That's okay. And 2, FDA-approved drugs come with rampant safety hazards, according to analysis published this week in the Journal of the American Medical Association. 32% of drugs deemed safe by the Food and Drug Administration were later flagged as potentially harmful, according to the study, which examined 222 novel therapeutic approved between 2001 and 2010 post-market safety events included the warnings. Included the agency either recalling drugs, issuing additional box warnings, or publishing safety communications for them. These after-the-fact safety actions were common among biologic and psychiatric drugs, as well as drugs granted expedited approval by the FDA. Ultimately, this is unsurprising considering the agency is run by pharmaceutical insiders. The industry provides funding directly to the agency, and the agency often uses sponsored by drug companies to make its determinations. What continues to be surprising, however, often the disparity is raised, is that the same agency's refusal to consider cannabis a potential medical treatment, even as it's approved synthetic pharmaceutical versions of the exact same substance. Yes, and even they're trying to shove it down the people's throat in our state legislatures, like including Florida. Like, they want to do things. They assume they can do a better job than medical marijuana. And I know in Florida, just to let folks know, they are having a special session on this, which is great because this is the people voted on it, which I'll be very sincere. Some people say it shouldn't be a constitutional bill, which I respect that dearly. But on the other flip side, the message has been sent. People are sick of the propaganda. People are learning to wake up as well. So, just giving you an example. A lot of dangerous stuff is happening, but they still want you to use natural-made products such as marijuana for medicinal purposes. Okay, so and now look what's going on. Oh, we need the FDA. This is why I'm against these federal bureaucracies, my friends. And I will continue on here. The Dakota pipeline has already sprung a leak. Despite months of protests expressing concern that the highly contested pipeline could threaten environmental safety and water resources, the project was pushed through and this demonstration were violently suppressed. On Wednesday, however, it was revealed that the pipeline leaked 84 gallons at the start of April. Though this is a relatively small amount, the pipeline is not even operational yet. Department of Environment and Natural Resources did a little announcement to spill to the public. Instead, opting to simply issue a report on its website. Pipeline leaks run rampant around the country, and according to a recent report from KCET, that there have been over 740 leaks just in North Dakota in the past year alone. That amounts to a leak of spill every 11 hours and 45 minutes. And there's links on here too, folks. You can see it for yourselves. All right. So, and this one here from the anti-media also. So you can like really look at this for yourself. But that's not important, correct? All right. And number 4, cop sues after being fired for not shooting a suicidal man. A former cop is suing the city of Wharton, West Virginia, after he was fired for not shooting a man who was threatening to kill himself. According to former officer Stephen Mader, a former Marine, to tell a police officer, when in doubt, either shoot to kill or get fired is a choice that no police officer should ever have to make. The suicidal man, Ronald James Williams, had been begging officers to shoot him, and another officer eventually did so, ending his life and preventing Williams from ever receiving mental health treatment. Mader also alleges after that Williams was killed, the city of Wharton waged a campaign to discredit him and his performance on the job prior to the shooting. Consider police shootings still occur daily in the United States, whether because the victim is mentally ill, the wrong race, or simply toting a toy gun. Mader stories highlights our grave lack of accountability of many violent offenders still face, as well as the struggle many well-being cops face to remain virtuous in a barrel of bad apples. And of course, it's MSNBC, and MSN's on MSN, by the way. So you could look at that. And of course, 5, NSA continues warrantless mass surveillance of millions of Americans. This story actually broke last week, but received a little attention of concerns from the American public. The International Business Times summarized the findings of a recent report from the Office of Director of National Intelligence. Even under the revised law, which only allows the NSA to call metadata about individuals who have suspected ties to terrorism, the NSA was able to gather more than 151 million phone records, despite having warrants for just 42 individuals in 2016, and just a handful more from the year prior. Though Americans may continually be comfortable with the mass surveillance, convincing themselves they have nothing to fear because they've done nothing wrong, this story is particularly relevant considering the FBI, like the NSA, has engaged in spying on the public many times over. In fact, the FBI itself helped pioneer technology the NSA uses for its surveillance practices. Remember also James Comey's past tirades against encryption and his insistence on total government access to American smartphones and data. Remembering also that FBI Comey chaired his track record of everything from operating a child porn site in the name of stopping child porn on two concocting fake terror attacks for the sake of stopping terrorism, not to mention his transgressions throughout his decades-long history. As a nation continues to remain fixated on the action-packed narrative between the FBI and the White House, we should keep in mind there is far more to be learned from stories the media isn't obsessing over. Exactly. And this is why you got an asswipe like Comey, and people in Congress is making a big stink about it. Even those jokers, Feinstein, Leahy, and Cummings, and Conyers, they're both a bunch of trees as parasites anyway, and they're worried about was Jeff Sessions involved. I don't even like the man, but you know what? Take your bread and circuses and stick it for as far as I'm concerned. It's completely irrelevant, unacceptable, and the people should be ticked off about it. But you go look at the flip side. There are battles on the state level. They're saying no, you're not going to bring it here. You're not going to bring it to my state. You're not going to bring it to my town. Stingrays and all that. You know what? And that's how you got to do it, my friends. 10th Amendment is the solution. Who cares what these bastards think? And that's why the new boss, same as the old boss for the FBI, potentially speaking. And just to give you guys another glimpse, I'd like to thank Kerry Welder for this. Thank you. And one more thing here, my friends. This came from the 10th Amendment Center. And it says here, Maine bill would void Common Core standards in the state. And it came out the 10th. A Maine bill up for hearing today will withdraw the state from Common Core. Representative William Toyle, Republican East Machias, introduced House Bill 5078, LD 1578, with co-sponsor. This bill void Common Core standards and will be replaced with emotional standards that were placed in Massachusetts before the state enacted Common Core. Massachusetts standards were ranked the highest in the country. LD 1578 reads in part, Department of Education shall replace the current content standards in English language, arts, and mathematics with new standards that are consistent with the standards in effect in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in 2009. The standards adopted under this section must be, as much as possible, identical to those adopted by Massachusetts, except when Maine context requires otherwise. The content standard applies to the 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020, and 2020, 2021 school years. LD 1578 contained a provision that would prevent Common Core from being rebranded under a different name, which has happened in several other states. The bill reads in part, A, an official employee or agent of the state, whether appointed or elected, may not, 1, enter into agreement or memorandum of understanding with any federal government agency or private entity that would require the state to dictate in any measures of controls of a development, adoption, or revision of the content standards in the system of learning results, or 2, join in behalf of the state, of a federal or a state agency in a consortium, association, or other entity such as membership will require the state or school board to concede any measure of control over education, including academic, content standards, assessments of such school standards, and B, the dependent may not adapt or implement the content standards for English language, arts, and mathematics developed by the Common Core State Standards Initiative or any similar initiative, process, or program. Although there are no provisions in the bill to explicitly protect the personality and identifiable information of students from being harassed by public and private interests, LD 1578 will still be a powerful rebuke against Common Core by getting rid of the federally driven standards and replace them with proven alternatives. Background: Common Core was intended to create nationwide education standards while touted as a state initiative, though the National Government Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers, the U.S. Department of Education, was heavily involved behind the scenes. Up until recently, the DOE tied the grant of waivers from No Child Left Behind Act to adoption of Common Core, using standards as a powerful strings to influence state educational policy. The Every Student Succeeds Act, passed by Congress this month, now prohibits the DOE from attempting to influence, incentivize, or coerce state adoption of the Common Core state standards and any other standards are common to a significant number of states. Even with the federal strings cut from Common Core for the time being, it is still imperative for each state to adopt its own standards. The Fed can once again use these national standards to meddle in state education at any time if they remain in place. Just as importantly, one-size-fits-all standards simply don't benefit children. State and local governments should remain in full control of their educational systems. Rejecting nationalized education standards is the first step toward bringing true academic choice and freedom. Passing this legislation into law would take a positive step forward for the people of Maine and the path of other states to follow. What's next? LD 1578 must be approved in the House Committee of Education and Cultural Affairs before the bill can receive a full House vote. It's scheduled for an initial hearing on May 10th at 1 p.m. So everyone out there in the state of Maine, boom, check it out. Go there, support it, because like I said before, any questions, look up the Prince versus the United States. It is a milestone case. All right? So now you got technology. We don't need a federal government on educating us with their standards. We can enhance that and make it better for each and every one of the beautiful individuals out there, not just the United States, but not just the state of Maine, but the United States. I know I flip-flop on those at times. Forgive me. And that is it. Ooh, okay. Once again, I thank everyone for listening to the show, but feel free to download and share it throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to send me something that's interesting and may want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondences with decorum. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Tumblr, Scene.life, Minds.com. Oh my goodness, I think I forgot. Freedom's Network, Scene.life, Minds.com, Future.net, or you can send your donations and your comments as well to patreon.com/LokiLuck. 3 eyes, LokiLuck3 with 3 eyes / to be exact. In addition, you could email me at LokiLuck3, which is number 3 altogether, at gmail.com, or LokiLuck03 at protonmail.com, with the number 0, number 3 altogether as well. And it is actually for those encrypted types. All right? Ooh, okay, my friends. Once again, thank you for your time. Let's always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.